What do you imagine before sleeping? Well, this is weird to admit, but oh well. I like to imagine that I had met my fiancé earlier in life, like at 18 or so. I just think about how it might have been if we had gotten together sooner, and all the experiences we could have shared together. It's usually a game of what if he had gone to my college and we had met in this class? And then reimagining all the things that I did alone or with other guys with him inserted in there. It's stupid, but it makes me happy. Running into my ex in public after not seeing each other for a long time. In every scenario I am doing something cool like fighting 6 guys at once and she happens to walk by, or sometimes I have superpowers and I have to fly and save her from a burning building or something. You know, standing in front of a door in a wall. If I look to my left or right it's just the same wall as far as I can see. Behind me's endless desert. On the door there's a counter with the number 20 on it. Every time I breathe in and out again the counter ticks down by 1. If I get distracted or let my mind wander the counter resets. I have to focus on the counter and my breathing. Once the counter reaches 0 the door opens and I walk through to an empty hall and up a flight of stairs. At the top of the stairs is a gate and a toll booth where a little man, or sometimes a little woman, in a kind of blue bellhop uniform requires payment before I can go through the gate. His payment is a memory from my day. Not something I want to forget, but something I need to remember. He takes the memory in the form of an old computer punch card and places it in a file with all the other memories he's collected. Then he lifts the gate and lets me walk into the darkness beyond. I don't know what's behind the gate, because I tend to fall asleep shortly afterwards. It's weird, I know. But if I don't tell myself this same little play every night my mind goes apeshit just creating new worlds and characters and scenarios. Which is great when I'm trying to be creative, but a big pain in the balls when I'm trying to sleep. I just try to imagine the me that I know I can be. In shape, financially secure, and traveling. Mostly alcohol is to blame. Well, rather I'm to blame for having a dependency on alcohol. But hopefully I can beat this and live the life I dream of. I'm still somewhat young. So hopefully saving people from a school shooter. Sometimes a cute girl is shot so I gotta use my genius to make a tourniquet. Sometimes one of my friends is the shooter so I try to stop them without killing them. I imagine that my consciousness is sent back in time to my younger self, so that all the things I know, all of the things I've learned, I would know as a teen. I like to imagine that the side effect of this process is that I gain a perfect memory, so that everything I've ever read I have instant recall of. I then plan out a way that I could use that knowledge to change my life and sometimes the whole world. It shifts from selfishness to altruism, but it's always fun. Okay, I can answer this. Most nights as I lay in bed, I imagine being in a quiet restaurant, with large windows looking out over the ocean. It's usually nighttime. This is actually a real restaurant I went to once before on a trip that imprinted itself in my mind for whatever reason. A waiter comes up to me and asks what I would like, and I order whatever I had been craving that day, such as veggie pizzas, platefuls of spaghetti, sandwiches, chocolate cakes, etc. I have a strong imagination, so the experiences are rather realistic and generally a pleasant way to fall asleep. Plus, the general atmosphere of the restaurant is always very calm and relaxing. It's dumb, but I like to imagine holding hands with someone I really love and just talking and laughing while on a walk on a little road surrounded by flowery fields. Or playing my instrument on a huge stage in front of the biggest crowd and just successfully becoming a professional musician. Living in a cabin in the middle of the woods mountains. There's a natural swimming hole between my cabin and my guest house, and there's a metal shop downstream. My cabin has 3 rooms. A studio apartment, a big, cozy library, and a secret behind the bookshelf room for reading building blanket forts. Wandering vagrants find my cabin and I let them use my library and stay in my guest house in exchange for their story company. I also imagine that I hold kick-ass parties in the guest house and that all the wandering vagrants are super attractive. I play a game where I take a person and drop them off in a time when dinosaurs are alive. They have to learn to survive. Then, it's on to another era. The Middle Ages. is one of my favorite time periods to imagine someone from 2019 survive. I basically just keep jumping ahead in time to various stages until I eventually pass out. I think about hiking for miles through dense forests up the side of mountains, then when I reach the top, there is a picturesque waterfall that flows into a turquoise blue pond below the other side and a rainbow from the waterfall mist. It's below the top just enough that I'm standing above it all. If I don't imagine this, I replay every stupid thing I've ever done said in the last 20 years. How the office would react to some random thing. My mind goes down a rabbit hole of scenarios, basically constructing an episode plot. In my head, they don't ever go further than the parking lot, and it's the year before Pam leaves reception. I get different camera perspectives and interviews and all that, but the jokes aren't as funny. Often this transitions from a fun thought before bed to a full dream. It's great and all until Dwight karate chops Pam's, or something equally stupid, because I wake myself up in laughter. I've moved away from having an overactive imagination the past few years, but the big one is being a published writer and having an agent, editor, reader, or someone tell me that they're looking forward to my work. Like, damn. That must be amazing for there to be one person interested in your stories. To be a good enough storyteller that you can belong with people. Talented enough to fit in. I honestly tear up a bit thinking about how awesome it must be to be welcomed like that. I also imagine being married and raising children. Both of these, of course, also make me really sad to think about because of how far away they are from who I am. I'd run through from a mental to-do list for tomorrow and imagine the best possible scenario from that point onward. It's as simple as doing groceries and ended up finding the cheese that I wanted, getting a can of soft drinks that I haven't had for ages, spoil myself a bit by taking my time. Then it goes full-blown imagination towards owning my own cheese factory and so on. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share if you enjoyed the video. Comment what you would like to see next.